Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm gonna be commentating over Marbula 1 Season 1 All Races. So yeah, before I start this commentary, please watch Jelle Runs' Marbula 1 Season 1 before you watch this. It'll give you a lot more context, and also, it will support them a lot to continue this. I am not going to be making any money out of this because I can't, and also even if I could, I would just give it straight to Jelle Runs or like someone else support them with the money. But I can't do that anyways. So yeah, there's no financial gain. And also, even if they do like copyright me or something, I'm technically changing the video a lot anyways, because I'm making my own commentary. So yeah, but that's just the before this thing starts. But anyways, let's skip the intro because actually, yeah, let's play the intro. I don't want to but yeah, please support them. Is basically what I'm saying. But here's the intro. You can skip this. Honestly, this is just a cool thing. But yeah. There's no music in the background, because I don't want to. No. I'll immediately get rid of this video if Jelle Runs does not want this. So yeah. So here we go. Marbula 1 Season 1, all races. Welcome to the Marbula 1 Season 1 opening ceremony. The Marbula 1 2020 Marbula 1 season. Speedy is going to activate the opening ceremony of the revolution that's about to take place in marble racing history. As the dominoes fall in the Marbula 1 tower is unleashed, this will mark the beginning of a new era. Here we go. Starting on pole at the Savage Speedway, this 13-turn track, we have on pole position is Clementon from the O'Rangers, followed by Starry, and then Momo. Yellow, Snowy, Razzie, Prim, Vespus rounds out the top 8. And we are rolling. Clementon holds onto the lead with Starry in pursuit as we're exiting turn 2, and immediately we see Starry on the outside, shoots by. Clementon loses out multiple positions as we're rounding through these banked and chaotic turns of the S's of the Savage Speedway. Rounding the front stretch, Starry has a massive lead immediately as we're entering for the first time. Snowy decides to take the pit lane for some reason. The gap, 0.13 of a second. As we're entering lap number 2, Starry keeps the lead, but Prim is coming up real quickly and is trying to make some moves. Snowy and Razzie right behind. Clementon hanging on in the top 5 as Yellow's there as well. Starry holding on to the lead, but Snowy is in pursuit and takes the lead on the inside. Snowy takes P1. What a move from Snowy as the top 3 are battling each other. Razzie takes the pit lane. Maybe they wanted some energy, but Clementon decides to try to catch up and instead falls off the belt. Rounding into lap number 3, Snowy versus Prim up front. Starry around in turn number 3. Snowy, Prim, Starry, Speedy, who's coming up as well, and Speedy enters the podium. Snowy hangs on with the lead for the Snowballs. Winner of the 2019 Marble League Showdown. Marble League 2019 Showdown, whatever you want to call it. Snowy is able to, the captain of the Snowballs, trying to keep number 1. But Prim goes take the lead on the first turn of lap number 4. Snowy tries to go to the inside of Prim, doesn't work. Speedy's on the straight as well as they're entering the S's for the 4th time. Prim hanging on to the lead for now, as they're trying to build this gap ahead of the Snowball's representative. Marbula 1 is a little different from Formula 1. As you can tell, there's one marble from each team per race, instead of the usual 2. And that means that points are a lot harder to come by in Marbula 1. Prim holds on to the lead as we're on the 5th lap. Everyone's trying to take the speed boost before entering the S's. That would give them a little bit of extra speed heading into it. Prim hanging on for now though, as let's see, Starry decides to just avoid the pit lane. But Prim does go to the pit lane, maybe to get a little bit of speed entering the next couple of laps as we're past the halfway mark. Snowy has a huge speed. Maybe activated DRS, I don't know. Prim hangs on, but Snowy, what a move to try to catch up to Starry, who passed them on turn 3. It did not work. Hazy hanging on in 4th, Yellow in 5th. Speedy drops to 6th place, as Mallard is down in 7th with Orange, Clementon, and Rousey. 3-way battle for the lead sends Prim straight backwards and lets Starry shoot into the P1. Starry takes P1 as we're entering lap number 7. Prim holding on to Snowy, who's now getting caught up with Hazy. Hazy's now getting into the mix. Hey, Orange and Clementon gets by, but Hazy takes P3 as we're entering the front stretch. The pit straight is another way to call it. Starry decides to not take the pit lane that lap. Almost did though. Speedy decides to just do a massive move on Clementon, but at the bottom of the screen you can see Clementon tries to get Speedy back. Starry, Prim, Hazy, Snowy. This is gonna be a close battle. Who will take the inside? Hazy takes the lead on the inside, but Starry does not like it. With the use of a little bit of energy, decides to just rapidly pass Hazy on that turn. With only 3 laps to go, Starry tries to hold on to the win and win the first ever Marbula 1 race in the 2020 season. Starry has a 10th lead over Hazy, but it just came down. Hazy to the outside, shoots into the lead. Starry gets him back and does the exact same move 2 laps in a row against the exact same marble in the race. Hazy struggles immensely throughout the track. And we're about to enter the final lap. Prim trying to get by Hazy, and it does. Hazy decides to go to the pit lane to get some checkup, but that might have costed them a position with only 1 lap to go. Hazy to the inside, almost gets by Prim. Hazy, massive speed, entering the first of the chicanes, decides to just shoot by. Now Hazy needs to get a run on Starry as Prim's position against Snowy is about to hold out. Hazy on the front stretch. Starry right there. Hazy, try to go. Round the final turn, Hazy does not make the move, and Starry wins the first ever race of Marbula 1. Hazy in 2nd, Snowy in 3rd, Prim in 4th, Speedy in 5th, Clementon in 6th place for our pole sitter. Razzie, Mallard, Yellow, and Wispy rounds out the points and the top 10. Starry wins the race and gives them the early lead in Marbula 1's individual championship and in the team championship. What a race for Starry. Hazy almost made the win come to 2nd place, but cannot bring up the speed to catch up to Starry. This 13-turn track has started off with a bang. Team Galactic takes the lead in the championship, and Starry takes the lead of the individual championship. Next race is at the O Raceway. At the home of the O'Rangers, this track, this 11-turn track, is about to be put underway. This track has a sand portion in the middle, nothing we've seen before, and a split in the first 4 turns. There's 2 splits and a sand portion. Waspy, after an incredible qualifying performance, well ahead of Smoggy in the qualifiers. Let's see what will happen. Second row also has the Fruit Circuit rivalry up, Sublime and Resi. But anyways, away we all go on at the Raceway. Smoggy takes the lead immediately. Waspy, a little bit shocked at the incredible speed that Smoggy decides as we're entering split number 2. Smoggy hangs on to the lead, but Waspy, the pole sitter, not letting him get away that easily. There's Resi as well, and Rapidly's there as well. Billy to the inside takes second place and is now challenging up Smoggy through the turns. Both of them goes around the outside and Rapidly goes to the inside of Waspy to shoot up to third. Entering lap number 2, Smoggy has a great first lap. Trying to hold him off through the first turns. Rapidly decides to go straight on the split for some reason instead of choosing one side or the other. Now, I don't think that really costed them time though. But in the meantime, we see Smoggy continue to build. There goes Anarchy, who just squeezes away the position, and that's incredible speed. Billy, massive speed on the front stretch, tries to get around Smoggy. It does not work there, but Smoggy has a 3/10 lead on Billy. Billy tries to shoot by. Rapidly has a massive speed off of turn 1. That might have caught Rapidly on Billy, but decides to go on the split again for some reason. Interesting move for Rapidly. Billy to the inside, cuts Smoggy off and takes the lead. Billy trying to become the individual champion of Marbula 1. Here comes Rapidly. Rapidly has a massive speed to the outside. Rapidly takes second place away from Smoggy. In perfect defense, lets him keep the position. Billy hangs on to the lead. Rapidly in second place. And what happened there? Waspy is at the bottom of the track. Waspy was running in 4th place for a while, but then just jumped off. Oh no, what happened there? Safety marbles deployed as Waspy stuck at the pit exit. We have to see a replay at the end of this race. But we're rounding lap 4. We'll see. Let's see what will happen. Smoggy to the inside takes second place Rapidly, and Resi and the Bolt gets by and Rapidly hits Waspy on the inside. Does that cause damage on Rapidly's marble? Who knows? Green flag's out now as the safety marble is now being called back to the safety marble lane. Billy, in the meantime, has stretched the lead massively, but hits the middle berm really hard. Smoggy does the same thing that lets Resi to the outside, takes second place. Rapidly does not feel any fatigue after hitting Waspy in the back. Rapidly is trying to recover their position that they lost after hitting Waspy. Massive speed there lets Rapidly catch up to Resi. Billy still holds on to the lead as we see Smoggy and Resi. Smoggy hang on in second. Rapidly to the inside, cuts Resi off on the split, and that was a masterful move from Rapidly. Billy also way ahead. Smoggy trying to catch up, and there goes Rapidly to the inside. Does the exact same move that Billy did to Smoggy. Rapidly does the same thing. Rapidly now just has to stay ahead of Smoggy as we're entering lap 6 of 9. 7 now. Billy's lead, 2 seconds. Smoggy, half a second behind Rapidly as the marbles are being called for the 7th lap. Rapidly decides to just go straight on the berm again. I don't know why they're doing it. It feels much like a slower line, but I guess Rapidly is in second, so we can't say much about that. Nice move from Snowflake to get around Yellow. That was an incredible move. Yellow, so shocked, lost the position to Anarchy. In the meantime, Billy's lead is now 2.5 seconds. It grown by 0.2. Billy trying to hold this lead off for the rest of the race with 2 laps to go. Smoggy battling with Rapidly. Snowflake hanging on in 5th. There's Slime in 4th. And then Waspy, who's 1 lap behind everyone, is trying to Smoggy to the inside, does not make it move. Rapidly holds it off and says it's not going to be happening. What an incredible battle between Snowflake and Bolt, by the way. That was an incredible battle between the two. Billy enters the final lap with a smaller lead than last lap. Smoggy and Rapidly has the exact same lap time as well. Incredible. rapidly decides to try to make the move, but Smoggy is right there. What will it do for the sand for the final time? Billy holds on. And Smoggy decides to take a look at rapidly on the inside. Does not cut it. Anyways, Billy on the front stretch will round the final turn to win the race. Billy is the winner of the O Raceway Grand Prix. Rapidly and Smoggy gets second and third. Limelight, Bolts, Snowflake, Yellup, Resi, and Hive rounds at the top 9. Anarchy gets the final points position. Orange in the home team gets 14th. Mary in 15th, and of course, Waspy 1 lap behind for falling off the track somehow. That was an incredible lap time from Billy, 34:31. That is the fastest lap of the race by like a mile. Congratulations to Billy, as they are now the individual championship leader by 1 point over Starry, 26-25. What a race. That was Waspy's incident there. Waspy, I think, just got a little bit too aggressive on the belts, and I think that might have costed them a huge amount of points. Waspy could have gotten 12 points, but instead it got 0. Hazers now in the lead of the championship. A Green Ducks right behind Savage Speeders there, and Team Galactic lost 3 spots after not getting a single point in race 2. Next race is at the Mo Motorway. We'll see you then. We are here at the land of the Momos. This track is absolutely swirly through the first sector, entering a speedy second sector, and then also a speedy third sector to round out this racetrack. This track also has a speed boost in that second sector, which could bring some marbles, some chaos. We are at the Mo Motorway. For the first time in Marbula 1 season, in the first season of Marbula 1, Prim has claimed pole position by 0.04 of a second in qualifying. And let's take a look at what the starting light's gonna be. And away we go for the Mo Motorway Grand Prix. Clutter gets a great start on the inside. Lets Prim jump down to second place. And a great start from Clutter. Shoots by. There's Mallard, who cuts second place off from Prim. And Prim dropped to 4th place off the start. Horrible start from the pole sitter. Clutter hanging on with the lead. Hazy hanging on. Here's Shock. Shock trying to get by Prim. As we're entering for the second time. Prim. 3-way battle for second place. As we're heading off the belt for the second time. Mallard to the inside of turn 3, and Mallard takes the lead of Clutter. Clutter to the outside, though, does not like that move back, as we're rounding this for the second time. Mallard and Clutter battling each other so far. Prim's trying to make a move. Here comes Hazy and Starry, the two podium racers from last race. Starry, the current second place in the individual championship, and Mallard takes the move off the belt. Nice move from Mallard to continue battling the leader, which is Clutter. Starry trying to hold off Hazy, and there goes Hazy to the outside, passes up Prim. Clutter retakes the lead on the front stretch as we're entering lap number 4. This is a short lap, as you can tell, 20, 25, 26, 27 second lap. Nice move from Prim on the inside to dive on Hazy, as Hazy's trying to catch up. Here's Starry, the current former championship leader, but Billy taking it by 1 point. Hazy's in there, trying to get by Prim. Hazy, second place last race at the Savage Speedway, is about to get hounded by Starry and Speedy. Speedy got fastest lap back at the Savage Speedway for the Savage Speeders. In the meantime, we see in a 1-2 battle for the lead. Clutter versus Starry. Speedy trying to get by Prim for their first podium of the season. Starry trying to get by Speedy for 4th place. Clemton's there for the pole sitter of Savage Speedway. But we're moving, and Mallard lost a spot on the conveyor belt. 1/10 is the lead right now. But that could drop any second. Starry to the outside trying to get by Speedy. Speedy hanging on. Here's Prim. Speedy trying to get by Prim now. Massive speed from Prim. And Speedy is catching up to Mallard and Clutter, as Mallard's right on the tail of Clutter as well. Three-way battle for the lead. Here comes Prim. Not able to make the move. Clutter able to hold on to the lead. That lead. Oh, Mallard struggles on the belt. Mallard went from first down to second down to seventh. Prim takes advantage of that as Clemton's down third. Clemton to the inside, tries to take second, but hits the wall too hard. Clutter and Prim still hanging on. Looking back at towards the back of the field, we see Snowy, third place back in race 1. Clementon and Speedy, Hazy, all struggle. That lets Mallard try to claim back some positions. But in the meantime, we see a 1-2 battle up front. Clutter versus Prim. Clutter to the inside, Prim to the outside. Prim has a lot of speed. It does not matter, though. Prim to the inside! What a move after the speed boost. Prim takes the lead, entering the pits. Pit straight. Clutter trying to hold him back. And to the inside, does not like it. Same move that Clutter did to Prim. Prim does back to Clutter. As we're rounding the first 8 turns of the racetrack, this track is a massive beast as we're entering the split of turn 9. Here comes Hazy. Hazy and Clementon just shoots by Prim. Speedy also does the same thing, and Mallard's trying to do the same as well. Hazy's now in second place and is now eyeing up Clutter. Second place from race 1 is trying to get their first gold of the season. But Hazy struggles on the belts, loses 3 spots to Prim, Speedy, and Clementon. Clementon now in a prime position to get up to Clutter and try to shoot by Clutter as well. Speedy struggles, loses 2 positions in 1 straightaway. Prim's trying to make that position back. Here comes Mallard. Mallard's into the top 5. Mallard trying to catch up to the leaders. Entering the belt for the 10th lap. Starry trying in 6th place right now. Trying to do their best to make an individual championship lead right now. Clementon not losing focus. Gets caught up by Prim, who's now in 2nd. Clementon tries to make their move back. It does not work. Prim hanging on for now. Goes to the outside. Able to hold him off. Prim from the Rangers. Clementon loses a spot to Hazy. Hazy's now in a prime spot as we're entering lap number 12 of 13. Clutter's lead is 2.5 seconds roughly. We see a huge jostle up on the second split. Will that cause anything, though? Clutter trying to handle Prim as we're about to enter the final lap. Clutter's lead is just under a second. But how will the gap continue to drop, or will it gain? Prim has a lot of speed through the first sector as we're entering the second one. Look at speed. Prim just avoids the split entirely, and look how much speed they gain. Clutter about to lose out the lead on the final 2 turns of the race. Here comes Prim to the outside. Clutter lays down the block, and Clutter wins the race by 0.05 of a second. What a repeat from race 1. Prim beats Hazy. Hazy beats Mallard. And then Clementon, Speedy, Starry, Rojo, Uno, Snowy, and Sublime rounds out the top 10. Clutter wins the race at 35 minutes, 39 seconds, and 95 milliseconds. What a win from Clutter, and what a way to continue to start this season. Hazy has 2 straight podiums so far. That is an incredible feat for Hazy. Also, in the individual championship, Hazy's leading Starry by 2 points, followed by Prim and Billy, who has not raced yet, so Billy has a chance to close out on that lead. Man, what a move from Clutter there. Clutter, on the inside, just dives on the lead. That's the team championship. The Hazers are leading the Green Ducks by 6 points. Savage Speeders gains a couple. Team Primary jumps up spots, and the Balls of Chaos jumps up a lot of spots as well. As we're about to enter race number 4. Race 4 is now delivered at the Hive Drive for the first time. This track, an absolute chaotic one. The Hive especially is like the sand at the Raceway. Will jostle up many positions if you can't handle it correctly. We also see the sectors as well. In the hive, there's also speed boost. If you can take that, you can gain a lot of time over the other opponents. But speaking of the starting line, Snowflake has taken pole position over Orangin after a chaotic duel between those two for qualifying pole. Anyways, we are rolling, and away we go. Orangin takes the lead on the inside immediately over Snowflake. Snowflake loses that to Waspy around the outside and is shoved to the outside. In the meantime, Orangin stretching that lead, and here comes Jelle. Jelle tries to go on Waspy. Waspy tries to go straight through the hive with Clementon, and both of them struggle. Rounding the outside, we see Rapidly and Jelle battling each other as they're entering lap number 2. Bolt struggling on the belt, just like what Mallard did one race ago. Snowflake struggles on the exit of the belt, and that shoots the pole sitter way behind everyone. Speaking of pole sitting, Orangin, the second place in qualifying, is leading this race just like as a racer, but Waspy shoots by in the hive. What a move from Waspy. Orangin also about to lose up to Jelle, and Jelle just squeezes by on the pit straight. Three-way battle for the lead entering lap number 3. And Waspy is trying to take it, and yes, Waspy keeps it. Here's Pulsar there as well. Pulsar gets by. Jelle takes the lead as Pulsar enters the podium spot. Teammate Starry's second place in the individual championship right now. Let's see what Pulsar can do. Jelle holding off. Here comes Pulsar trying to get by Waspy. A little bit slow. Waspy hangs on. Anyone's strategy to take the pit lane on lap 3? Not quite. Jelle holds on to the lead for now. Mellow Yellow is trying to win the race. For Mellow Yellow. Waspy trying to avenge themselves after a horrible race at the Raceway. Qualified pole ended dead last after an incident with the conveyor belts. Pulsar trying to hold off Waspy. As Rapidly Orangin there, and Smoggy gets by Orangin on the split. Waspy takes the pit lane this race. Maybe that's a strategic one. Rapidly's hanging on to the conveyor belt for dear life to stay ahead of everyone, and is trying to catch up to Waspy. Jelle's lead is massive right now. Pulsar hanging on to Waspy, who is not giving up. Rapidly's hanging on with Waspy right now. Rapidly second place last time they were out at the Raceway. Smoggy, third place last time they were out, is trying to do it, and look how close this map battle is. Orangin almost enters the pit lane. That was almost disastrous. Smoggy struggles on the belt. Let's Rezi try to catch up, as Jelle's lead is just under a second. Entering lap 6, we're roughly halfway through this race. And Pulsar is trying to hold him off. Rapidly, Waspy hanging on, and Rapidly has a burst of speed from Waspy. What a defensive line to make that into an offensive gain, and look at the speed that Rapidly is going to gain. Rapidly to the inside, takes second place. Pulsar was a little bit shocked, and Waspy decides to take advantage of it. Pulsar says not today, though, as they dash onto the conveyor belt with the same step as Waspy. Jelle's lead halfway through this race. Trying to hold him off. As we take a look at mid-pack, we see Shock versus Rojo Uno. In the meantime, we see Jelle struggle on the exit of the bell, and now let's Rapidly take the lead. Jelle also goes to the pit lane. Maybe after Jelle lost the lead, Mellow Yellow's strategy was just to go into the pit lane to get a checkup or something, so they can continue their gain throughout the race. Rapidly versus Pulsar now. Pulsar, who we have not seen in a couple of laps, is now challenging Rapidly, who Rapidly is trying to keep the pressure off. Rapidly is able to gain some time through the hive, as Smoggy is trying to gain time through Jelle's in the hive as well. Smoggy takes the pit lane this lap, maybe just to gain some time over Orangin, and maybe catch up to Jelle in the meantime. Entering lap number 9, Rapidly. If they are going to win this race, they are going to shoot into the individual championship leader spot by a large margin. Currently, Rapidly would, if they win this race, they would be individual leader. But Pulsar shoots by Rapidly, a little bit shocked there, and was a little shocked. As I was mentioning, if Rapidly wins this race, it would be 43-33 in the individual championship right now. But that lead has gone away. Rapidly's now struggling and is now dealing with Waspy. Waspy's giving pressure. What a disaster that Rapidly is facing. Rapidly went from prime individual championship position to now struggling against Waspy. Waspy now trying to take advantage of this but hits the pit lane really hard. Rapidly decides to take the pit lane this lap as they were forced to by Waspy. That might have cost Rapidly some spots, but it doesn't look like that time difference. Is there a pit lane speed limit? Doesn't look like it. We're on the final lap for the final time. Rapidly trying to eye up Pulsar as we're entering the high for the final time. Rapidly trying to gain some speed. Waspy versus Jelle trying to battle each other. Rapidly around the outside. Smoggy gets by Jelle in the meantime, and Pulsar wins the race at the Hive Drive. And the second time for Team Galactic. Rapidly, even with that disappointing second place, still holds on to the provisional individual championship lead with 36 points. Waspy in third. Smoggy, bronze last time out, fastest lap, and a fourth place this time out. Great showing from the Hazers. In the meantime, congratulations Pulsar for an incredible race at Hive Drive. That battle between them, Waspy and Rapidly, was a battle of the ages. Speaking of the battle for the individual championship is also there, as currently it's 36-33 between Rapidly and Hazy. Starry is in 31, Prim 30, Smoggy 28, Billy 26, Clutter 25, and Pulsar rounding out the final spot with 25, in 8th place. Hazers currently has a massive lead over Team Galactic. Savage Speeders hanging on right in pursuit, and that's an ad. As the races continue to unfold, we see the Green Ducks, this is Homeland, being host of Marbula 1. This track has 23 turns. Most of it comes from sectors 1 and 2. And, oh yeah, speaking of sectors 1 and 2, that's where most of the fast runners from qualifying landed in with their jackpots. And see that most of the first and second sectors are just turns. But speaking of qualifying in pole position, Yelp claimed pole position in qualifying after a decisive lead over Origin after Origin barely wasn't able to get by. Anyways, we are rolling. Yelp takes the lead with Origin as those two have stretched the lead over Mimo. Origin takes the lead as we are continuing. Through the first sector, Bolt gets by in second place. Yelp is struggling through this turns and drops to fourth place. This track is all about handling the turns, and Origin so far is handling it perfectly. Through the pit straight, Origin has a massive lead over Bolt and Yelp. On the front stretch, Origin leads the first lap with a 34.49. That was uncontested first lap, and already has a 1.5 second lead. Yelp and Bolt battling for second and third, and Yelp gets by Bolt on that turn. Continuing to battle up. Origin continues to hold the lead. Yelp battling with Momo and Bolt right now for second place as Origin's continue to shoot by. Nice move from Wispy to get by Rojo Uno. Waspy, I should say. Wispy isn't here for some reason, but yeah. For some reason, is that Team Momo in the pit lane? For some reason, it is. That's weird. Speaking of weirdness, that lead from Origin is now battling, and what a move from Rojo Uno and Bolt to shoot by Yellow. Hive is also trying their best to get by Melty Yellow, and there goes Hive. Hive gets up to the top 4 and is challenging Rojo Uno. The Rangers, though, is still leading this race by a mile. Bolt in second, Rojo Uno third, Hive in fourth. This is going to be an incredible battle for the lead. Thunderbolt's trying to battle up, and Rojo Uno is right there. Entering lap number 4. What's the lead? 2 seconds is the lead, roughly. But still, but Bolt is battling with Rojo Uno, and that might cost Bolt a little bit of speed to catch up to Origin. Yelp gets back up to third place, trying to challenge up Bolt for second. No commentary needed, but look at Snowflake battling with Anarchy. That might have cost Snowflake a spot. And in the meantime, we see at the front of the field, we see Yellow versus Bolt up front. What's the gap? Roughly 3 seconds again. We've seen that lead oscillate back and forth. In the meantime, we see Bolt and Yellow handle the first sector pretty well. Look how fast Bolt and Yellow are handling the first sector. Let's see how this will manage through Orangin holding out for now, but it might not end up that way. Yelp trying to hold on to Bolt. In the meantime, we see Waspy and Rojo Uno battling each other, but Waspy hits the split pretty hard. That might have costed them. Orangin rounds the final turn. That lead has shrunken significantly. It is. It dropped by 2.5 seconds, and now Bolt is trying to challenge Orangin to the inside. Bolt takes the lead. Yelp also trying to get by Orangin, who has lost out, and Yelp does as well. Momo, in the meantime, has got by Wispy and is challenging Rojo Uno. Orangin went from first to third. The second place in qualifying leader of the race briefly is now back down to third place. Rapidly, in the meantime, is stuck in dead last for the individual champion. If you didn't realize, there was also a brief moment where both Rapidly, Hazy, and Starry were all struggling in the bottom 3 positions. Back in like race lap number 2 or 3. So that's incredible to watch. Bolt's lead is now roughly 1.5 seconds. As we're rounding these turns. Throughout the first and second sectors, we see a huge... You can see the chaos that's happening right now between the marbles. Also, we see a battle between Rapidly and Mary right now. First place in the championship versus last place in the championship for the battle for dead last. That is not a good look for Rapidly at all. Yelp, in the meantime, has to defend against Orangin as that lead is now roughly 4 seconds. But that gap is, as Bolt is trying to manage the gap, but look at that, it's already 1 turn away. Orangin versus Yelp, Orangin and Bolt are already in a bad position. Orangin goes to the outside, passes up Yelp in the around that turn, as we're about to approach lap number 3, sector number 3. This lead is starting to unravel, and Orangin to the inside takes P1. Yelp decides to take the pit lane this race, so that might be a smart decision, as Yelp needs the speed to try to handle the final lap. Orangin holds on to the lead. Yelp now has to deal with Rojo Uno behind. Orangin in the lead. After leading for the most of the early parts, lost out in the middle pack, is now back up front for the win. For the championship, by the way, Starry's got up to 8th. That is 4 points for Starry. So that could be huge for the individual championship, especially for Starry, the individual marble. Orangin, in the meantime, is rounding the final turn and wins at the Greenstone Grand Prix, and will happily take their first medal of Marbula 1 and their first ever win of Marbula 1 as well. And for the championships, Team Galactic and Starry finishes 8th. The Hazers and the Savage Speeders, with Hazy and Rapidly respectively, both get 0 points for this race. Congratulations, Orangin, for an incredible comeback race and an incredible way to start this, to keep this momentum up. Taking a look at the individual championship, Rapidly still holds on to the lead ahead of Starry and Hazy. But that gap has significantly dropped, as Rapidly will not be able to compete next race. And that means that marbles like Prim, Smoggy, Billy, Pulsar, and marbles like them have a chance for battle to catch up and even pass Rapidly. Next up is at the short circuit. Welcome to the Short Circuit Grand Prix, where we see an incredible race about to develop. In qualifying, we saw an incredible duel between Prim and Speedy, which led them both to be in the first two spots of the grid. Prim finally able to take that inside lane to their advantage after taking pole position, but let's see what will happen. The lights are on, and away we go! At the Short Circuit Grand Prix, Speedy to the outside immediately takes Prim out as Prim loses out. Here comes Smoggy and Vespa as they're all trying to pass Prim. Lime's there as well. Sublime, I meant. Here comes a Pulsar. Pulsar trying to battle up as Speedy takes the pit lane lap 1. That was a horrible decision, as there's really no reason to take the pit lane on the first lap. Speaking of pit lane, Speedy take second place immediately. So it looks like Speedy's use of the pit lane did not blunder them a spot at all. Prim holds on to the lead for now. And Marbles are hitting the pit lane incredibly hard. Speedy versus Smoggy. This will be an incredibly quick battle, and Smoggy takes second place. Smoggy trying to get another podium, but loses out 2 spots there rapidly to the outside. This is also huge for the individual championship. Prim, if they stay up front, they will shoot in the lead of the championship with 55 points in the individual championship if Prim just takes it. Speedy, though, has a massive speed on the backstretch and rounds these 2 turns. Now entering the chicane, Prim lays down the block. But Prim decides to take the pit lane this lap. Much smarter pit lane use than Speedy, and look at that. Prim barely lost out on Speedy and was immediately able to take the back with a fresh slate of speed from the pit lane. However, it was not able to take advantage of it on the first straightaway of the race, as Speedy takes it back immediately through the chicane and onto the front stretch. Speedy decides to take the pit lane again on lap 5, and that might have been another costly mistake. Speedy has taken the pit lane twice so far in this race, and that might have costed them a lead that they could have kept for a long time. Wispy to the inside cuts off Speedy, as now we see the battle between Pulsar and Wispy. Speedy, Snowy there as well. Mimo, Shock, Billy. 1 second is the lead, Pulsar and Wispy. Speedy dropped to 4th place as we're entering the 6th. As we're approaching, look at the speed from Snowy, and Speedy, who both got by Wispy. Wispy is struggling a little. Pulsar takes the pit lane this lap. Maybe a smart use halfway through the race, but Speedy is trying to use that pit lane, those 2 pit lanes, to hold on to the lead. Speedy takes the lead on the exit. That use of that pit lane might have been very impressive. Speedy, Prim, Snowy. Speedy decides to go straight into the pit lane, and Prim decides to take the pit lane this lap. That might have costed them a spot. Speedy holds on to the lead. 6 tenths is the gap between them and Snowy. And Snowy is trying to catch up to Speedy. This battle between Prim, Speedy, and Speedy has now developed into Prim not even being in the fight now, as Speedy is now way ahead of everyone. Speedy to the outside, Snowy to the outside. As we're approaching lap number 9. Mimo in 3rd place, trying to get Kimomo's first podium of the season. On to lap number 10. 5 laps to go. Now it's 4 1/3 laps to go. Now 4.5. This lap race is going to be incredibly close, as Snowy's gap is continuing to battle. Massive blunder from Rojo Uno drops them a couple of spots, and look at the battle again. Entering lap 11. This lap is going to be really close. Speedy takes the jump off the belts. Nice speed from Speedy, but no! It was not nice speed from Speedy. Snowy takes the lead on the drop. Continuing to battle back, we see Yellow there. And Mimo. Prim holding on to 3rd, but has to deal with Mimo now after hitting the the pit lane wall, pit wall. Entering lap number 12. Prim able to keep that spot for Mimo though for now. Nice move from Shock to get ahead of Pulsar. Shock has 0 points in the individual championship, trying to undo that. Snowy able to hold off against Speedy as they're entering lap 13. Prim also there as well, trying to catch up to Speedy as they're entering 13 of 14. Nice move from Speedy and Prim. The duel between them are continuing. As they're approaching the final turn, and Speedy decides to take the pit lane. That might have been a smart decision to try to get as much speed, but that was a horribly slow pit lane. That puts Prim up to second place, but without a pit lane. Let's see what Speedy can do with that pit lane advantage. Around the turn, we'll see Speedy gets by, but Shock gets by both of them. Speedy used that pit lane to their advantage, but wasn't able to get use of it. Yellow flag's out for Sublime on Sector 1, but I don't think it would matter. Snowy wins the race at the short circuit. Shock second, Speedy third, Prim and Yellow in fourth and fifth. Rojo, Dos, Mimo, Smoggy, Billy, and Clemson rounds out the top 10. Sublime stuck at the very start. We do not know what happened there, but unfortunately Sublime had a DNF on the last lap of the race. Congratulations to Snowy for their incredible second podium of the season. And their first gold of the season. Shock, congratulations for their first points, being a silver. Really late in the season, but it does not really matter. And look at those duels. Anyway, speaking of dueling, the championship battle is now up to Snowy and Prim as they're tied for the lead with 42 points between them. Between both of them. Rapidly still stuck in third, while Starry, Speedy, Hazy, and Smoggy rounds out the top 7. Yellow, Bolt, and Orangin rounds out the top 10. What an incredible duel. You can see Shock's incredible move to the inside. Team Momo is unable to win the championship, but still able to get a podium. Hornets and their marbles unable to get both of them as we're approaching the Razway. Welcome to the Razway Grand Prix. This incredible Grand Prix is an incredibly long and grueling one, but it's an exciting one as well. The Razway, 15 turns, a figure 8 style racetrack in the home of the Raspberry Racers. You can see the Razzies and the Raspberry Racers really excited. Mimo on pole, barely beating out Smoggy during the qualifiers. Anyways, we are rolling for the start of the Razway Grand Prix. Smoggy takes the lead immediately. Mimo in second place. Lime gets up to second, but oh no! What happened there? A yellow flag is now in Sector 1 as half the field is stuck. Safety marbles deployed, and this might be chaos. Smoggy able to keep the lead, the safety marbles deployed, and it literally did nothing. The leaders are now up there. Smoggy, Mimo, Lime, rapidly, Billy, Orangin, rapidly, Rojo Dos, and Billy as they're rounding the turns 3 and 4, and oh no. Every marble is stuck in the field, and this is the first red flag of Marbula 1. Fans are shocked at what happened here. What happened? Marbles just did not gain enough speed to go around these couple of turns, and overall, Marbles just slammed into each other, leading to a disastrous red flag. The race is about to get restarted, and what happened here? Is that a track invasion is what they're calling it, as a marble stuck on the belt, and what happened? A fan just decides to jump on the track. I don't know what happened. Security is trying to bring them off the belt and get them out of the racetrack so we could get this race started again. You can hear the Raspberry Racers fans not being happy. Mimo is also reported to not be happy as they lost all their momentum that they could have used on that one restart. Anyways, we are rolling again. For the second time. Rapidly and Smoggy immediately battling. Rapidly trying to become individual champion of Marbula 1 is challenging Smoggy. Mimo, though, jumps ahead of both of them and takes P1. Smoggy takes him back as they're approaching the split. Nice move from Smoggy. Mimo, Orangin, as they're approaching. Rapidly gets ahead of Orangin, who's also going for a second podium of the season. Rapidly hanging on in fourth for now as we're entering lap number 2. Smoggy's lead is massive. Orangin, Mimo, rapidly. Pulsar there as well. Winner of the Hive Drive Grand Prix. We see multiple race winners on this racetrack. We see Orangin, we see Pulsar, we also see Wispy and Orange. We also see Mimo, who is trying to get the groove on down, and we also have Smoggy, a former podiumist at the O Raceway Grand Prix. Speaking of podiums, the current podium right now is Smoggy, Mimo, and Orangin, but Orangin gets passed up by Wispy. Smoggy so far is hanging on to the lead. Wispy in second, and Mimo's in third, and Wispy slows to a crawl, letting both Mimo and Orangin get by. Smoggy slows to a crawl, that lets both Mimo and Orangin battle up. Mimo gets shoved, and Orangin gets by, rapidly, still trying to find an opening to try to catch up to the leaders. Enter lap number 4. Nice start. Rapidly has a horrible jump off the bell and drops to 7th. Disaster for Rapidly. Smoggy so far, if they win this race, they're going to be at 57 points. If they get fastest lap, they're going to be at 58 points for the individual championship, which would be really hard to beat. 26 points is the maximum per race. And Billy has done it before back at the O Raceway Grand Prix. Smoggy hanging on to the lead as we're entering lap number 4. We see Smoggy continuing to battle. Anarchy jumped up to 4th place. Shock hanging on in 5th. Snowflake and Wispy, but so far we're seeing massive chaos still ensuing as we're approaching the split for the 5th time. We see Mimo and Orangin battling. Currently battling with the right left-hander as we're approaching the pit straight for the 5th time. Smoggy hits many of the walls that might cost Smoggy some real battles and disadvantage, and Orangin struggles on the belts. We have not seen that in a while. Nice. Smoggy versus Mimo now. The top 2 have really stretched away from Anarchy in 3rd. Anarchy is going for the Balls of Chaos, the second podium of Marbula 1. And so far, look how close it is. Mimo to the inside. Shoots by. Mimo on the inside of that split decides to just take advantage of it, and that worked out perfectly. Smoggy, though, trying to make a move through the chicane does not work at all. And Mimo holds on to the lead, entering lap number 7. Anarchy, Orangin, Pulsar, Wispy, Shock, Snowflake, all trying to come back. Smoggy to the inside. What an inside move for a championship contender. The Hazers currently are behind the Savage Speeders by 5 points in the individual championship. In the team championship. If they win here, this would be huge for the Hazers. Hazers holding on for now. Mimo in second, trying to hold him off. Entering lap number 8. Nothing has been showing up so far, but Anarchy's closing up to the top 2 as we're entering the pit straight for the second to last time. Not many marbles decides to take the pit lane during this race, as they all think that this 10-lap race can just be done on hard marble skin. Whatever their tires are called at this thing. Entering lap number 9, Smoggy holds on to the lead. Here comes Mimo and Orangin. Smoggy and Orangin decides to take different lines from Mimo, and look at that, Mimo loses out a spot. Mimo decides to not take it, entering the pit lane straight away, and Mimo takes back second place. As we're rounding the final turn to enter the final lap. 2/10 is the lead. Smoggy and Mimo. Orangen, what will they do? Orangen's going for their second win in a row is what Orangen's trying to do. Mimo to the outside. Tries to make the move. Does not do it. And Smoggy decides to just lay down the block real hard and shoot him backwards. These turns are really tricky on this track, but we're about to enter the third sector for the final time. Orangen's time is running out for their second win of the season. Is it going to happen? No, it's not. Smoggy wins the race at the Razway and put the Hazers in a prime position to win the team championship. Also with that, Smoggy has denied rapidly the individual championship, and that also means that they also denied a lot of marbles that raced here for an individual championship. Entering race 7, this was an absolute disaster for Rapidly. Orangen, if they won this race, it could have been the individual championship for Orangen. However, it did not come that way, and Smoggy has taken the lead in the individual championship. Rapidly's out, Orangen's out, Jelle is still in, Bolt's still in, Tent is out. Anyone below Bolt in the individual championship is out. Smoggy really is trying to make it really hard for both the Savage Speeders and any other team to catch up. And also, the Hazers are also preventing them from winning the championship. As we're approaching the final race of the season of Marbula 1. Welcome to Midnight Bay for the final race of the season of Marbula 1. This race is going to be the championship decider for both the team and the individual championship. This track also has a lot of tricky parts of it. There's a glass bridge, there's a tunnel. That pit lane might be the difference between champions, and we will see on this race. Average lap time 30.3 seconds. And away we are, but Speedy is on pole. Beats out Momo with a 24:54 second lap time. Incredible lap from Speedy. Hazy for the Hazers, starting 15th for the championship rivals Hazers. And away we are! Speedy gets a great jump off this ramp and leads it with Momo Prim in third place, followed by... Is that Clutter? Yeah, it is Clutter. Waspy is hanging on for the Midnight Wisps. As we're approaching, let's take a look at the championship titles. If Speedy wins this race, they are your individual championship champions, unless if Prim gets second place. If Prim gets second, or if Snowy gets second, Speedy cannot be the individual champion. Also, if Speedy gets first place and the Hazers do not get above 5th, they are guaranteed to be your team championship as well. Champions for the Savage Speeders. If they get second, Hazers need to be below or at 9th. Anyways, let's take a look at the lead battle. Speedy hanging on to the lead for now. Momo, Prim, both battling. Here's Clutter. They're all dueling between them as Prim is dealing with Mimo. Mimo trying to defend against Prim through this incredibly short but very chaotic lap time. On the most amount of laps you'll see, and Prim takes second place. That is a crucial pass that Prim needed to become individual champion. Prim, all they need is this silver, and they will be your individual champion, unless if Speedy can get fastest lap. On lap number 4, Prim to the outside. Prim takes the lead. Mallard in third place gets by Momo, and Prim is putting themselves in a prime position to win the individual Marbula 1 championship. Snowy, in the meantime, the other marble that has a chance for the championship, is well in the back. They need to start pushing out now if the hopes and dreams of Snowy being individual champion wants to be official. Speedy to the inside, unable to get the move off. Prim holds off the lead for now. Lap 5 of 16, we see the duel. Prim hangs on with the lead for now and has a pretty good margin over Speedy. Momo hanging on in third trying to get Team Momo's second podium in a row. Entering lap number 6. Ooh, Prim struggles on the belt. This That is crucial, and Speedy takes the lead. Prim, even though losing that lead does not matter. As long as they stay in second, Prim is your individual champion of Marbula 1 Season 1. Speedy, trying to hold him off. Mallard in third, Momo in fourth, Clutter, Rezi, Hazy, and Jelle hanging on, as both the top two are dueling between them. As we're entering lap number 7 of 16. We see this duel between Prim and Speedy are still coming up. We see Hazy in 7th place. That is crucial. Hazy's up to 6th now. If Hazy could get up to 5th, they are your end-of-team championship and your team champions. That's crucial. We have to keep an eye on Hazy. If Hazy can just get by Momo, it would be over. Hazy's right there. Rounding into lap number 8, we're roughly halfway done with this race. Hazy just needs to get by Momo, and they are gonna be your champions of the Marbula 1 Season 1 Championship. It would be Speedy needs to start making their moves now. Hazy actually needs to get 4th or better, actually. So Hazy needs to get ahead of Momo and Clutter. Because unless if they can get fastest lap. So, I'm wrong, but still. The Hazers are climbing, and that's all that really matters. However, Snowy gets by. Snowy is got by Hazy, and that's crucial. That means that the Speeders just have to stay in first, and they are your team champions. Speaking of champions, individual championship is now in jeopardy for Prim. Prim now has to deal with Mallard. Prim has to lay down the block for now, but it's unable to be successful. And there goes Mallard to the outside. Prim needs to get by Mallard, and does. Clutter also gets by Mallard, and is trying to challenge Prim for 2nd place. Speedy, holding off the marbles behind them for now. Clutter hanging on to Prim, with only 6 laps to go in the Marbula 1 in the 2020 season, or the first season of Marbula 1. Rounds the final turn, hanging on to 2nd is Prim, but it's still in jeopardy. Mallard trying to get by Prim. Prim versus Mallard. This battle is going to be incredibly intense. Snowy's climbing up the field. If Snowy can just get 2nd place, they are guaranteed to be your individual champion. No matter what happens, unless if Prim gets 1st. But if Prim doesn't get 1st and Snowy gets... No matter what happens, Snowy is a guaranteed champion if Prim doesn't get 1st. And Snowy's climbing the field real quickly. Prim to the outside, tries to get by Mallard, and there's the Mallard. Mallard makes the pass on Prim, and that is crucial. This individual championship is in jeopardy. Speedy is now your individual champion as it runs for now. Speedy stays out of the pits for now. Maybe they're planning on the final lap pit lane so they can guarantee their win. Snowy's up to 4th place. Snowy's trying to make things difficult for Prim. As well, Clutter's there, winner from Mo Motorway. We see multiple winners and podiumists from this race. In this race, Speedy from Short Circuit race 6 got 3rd. Prim, Mo Motorway race 2, race 3 got 2nd. Snowy, winner of the Short Circuit. Clutter, winner of the Mo Motorway. Hazy, 2-time podiumist at both the Savage Speedway and at the Mo Motorway. So we see multiple podiumists at this track, and multiple winners at this track. We see Snowy and Clutter as the winners of this track. And if none of them win, we'll add another one here. But so far, Prim is struggling. Snowy trying to take advantage of it and get up to 3rd. If Snowy can just get fastest lap here and get... That would be huge. Speedy still holding on to the lead. Prim hanging on to 3rd, trying to get up ahead of Mallard, but time is running out for the Marbula 1 Championship. Mallard hanging on in 2nd, not letting the team primary or snowballs get by. As we're entering the final lap. The final lap of the Marbula 1 inaugural season is underway. Snowy gets by Prim on the front stretch. If Snowy can get by Mallard, they are your guaranteed champions of Marbula 1 Season 1. This is going to be close. It's a race. It doesn't matter for the team championship. At this point, if the Savage Speeders are going to be your team championship, it's down to the individual championship. What will Snowy do around the final 2 turns? It's over! Prim, Snowy, hits the pit lane, and it's over now. Speedy and the Savage Speeders are your champions of Marbula 1. What an incredible final showing for Speedy and the Savage Speeders. As we're waiting for Sublime to finish this race, it is over. Savage Speeders are your Marbula 1 individual championship. Snowy even tried to take the win with individual championship with Fast Lap, but it wasn't enough. It's over. Everything's done. The Savage Speeders are your winner. There was a yellow flag in qualifying but as we're celebrating Marbula 1 and its ending, the Midnight Wisps and their track will host the Smoggy takes 3rd place, Snowy takes 2nd place, and Speedy takes 1st place. This championship came down to the final lap. If Snowy could get past Mallard, it would be over. As we're looking at the team championship, the Orangers take 3rd, the Hazers take 2nd, and your Savage Speeders are your Marbula 1 inaugural season's world champion. Let's take a look at the credits. As the credits are rolling and we're celebrating for all the podiums and all the champions and all the race winners, and looking at the standings for the final time, let's take a look back. Before I end this video, please watch Marbula 1 Season 1 All Races by Jelle Runs. They put in a lot of work, and we want to put as much support in them as much as possible. So yeah, without them, this video wouldn't be possible. But anyways, congratulations Savage Speeders, congratulations Speedy, for your Marbula 1 World Championship 4 years ago. Yeah, it's nearly 5 years as well. But congratulations to them, and we'll see you all in the next video.